Hi everyone. I just felt compelled, as I kind of do just on a whim, to give you guys a quick update video, and partially because I have been so beyond overwhelmed with the amount of comments and support and love that 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 have been expressed to me after my last video, which is quite different than this one, clearly. So I get very emotional even thinking about it. So I can't thank you guys enough. There's really no words to express, what you're really feeling inside when people reach out to you the way you guys have for me. But as I said, I feel it's very important that to show the good, the bad, and the ugly, and the horror, whatever it may be on a particular day, to bring hope, and to hopefully show people that this, as people have told me, you don't feel like you're going to survive, but this is survivable. So this is my third pretty good day in a row. I did switch back to my tablet form or pill form of Valium because the liquid Valium had me not sleeping at all. And my doctor is considering, well, he suggested gabapentin. That's not a medication I want to use. So we may be adding a small amount of Boost Bar and trying that. It's not something I really want to do, but I do want to try to get through some of those other more difficult times a little bit easier, and I feel it's not certainly not a habit-forming medication, and I'm not on other, I'm not on other psych drugs and other type of things. So, and it's going to be probably into next year just to get off of this final 7 milligrams of Valium, which right now I decided to hold for a little while. So, but I finally, got out, and I had nothing but water pretty much in my refrigerator last week, and finally got out, I think it was yesterday, the day before, and got a little bit of food and stuff. And so yeah, and today I was back out again, and I just yeah, we don't ever feel anywhere near normal. And I ran into a couple people at Walmart today that I used to work with. I was the community involvement coordinator, they called it, for our local Walmart here, and so people I worked with years ago. And then I worked at Sam's Club for many years. But so I handled all the charity work and things like that at the store, and still see people I know and talking. And by all appearances, you come across as, being okay, and you laugh, and you just kind of, well, people ask you what you're doing now. It's like, well, I'm just kind of in between, and I mean, you don't really have the time to go into your whole story, but if you do, you can mention a little bit about it and where they can find you if they want to know more about what's going on. But for the most part, people see you and they think that you're normal. Or if you run into someone who does know what you've been going through, they think that you must be all better. And that couldn't be further from the truth. You're still, there, and you're still feeling shaky and dizzy, and kind of like, the pins and needles, all of that, and just want to get in and get out. But talking to people helps. But, so, but still, you guys can, you watch my last video, and you watch if you watch this one, clearly it's night and day. So, and with that said, I can't reiterate enough how much I feel that diet and exercise. I made myself go out and do probably about a 5-mile walk yesterday. I know, look, last week I couldn't have done it. Of course, it was raining a lot here too in Georgia, but I'm also in a place in Georgia where it's been 65, 70 degrees here, for a while, even in February. So that's a huge blessing when you're going through this. You can get out in the sunshine and do things that some of you guys can't do because of where you live, you know. A new friend, Mike, in Canada, you know, I can't even imagine, you know, being in places like that and going through this. I'm an outdoors person anyway, and you know, I was a runner for years. I'm used to being outside in the sun and in warm. I don't even like what 3 months or whatever winter we have to go through here. So that's got to be so difficult. And yes, I am alone. I have friends. I have people who love me. I have 2 grown children. They're happy, healthy, successful, talented, gifted, amazing people, but they're not here for me. They're just not. They're not. And they haven't been for a while. I'm alone 24/7, basically. And it's hell. And I've been last week where I was clutching my pillow and having the attacks and the shaking and the crying and the begging to God to just make it end, and no one to, you know, just wishing you had someone to grab onto and someone to come and just hold you while and that you're going to be okay. And there's nobody here. There's nobody here. So you're just having to figure out. And in my small apartment, I can't even there's really no place to go. I got this one room and a bedroom, which, by the way, I, for some reason, thought to bring out my butterfly painting that has actually been hanging in my bedroom. And this is a painting that actually was done. It's a very young girl who her name is Autumn, and she's an up-and-coming artist. And one of the few things I kept that was my fiance and I had bought together. But I thought, and it just hit me. I'm like, why? Nobody's in my bedroom. So no comment. But further than that, but you know, nobody's seeing it. You know, yet what a beautiful thing as a backdrop. You know, with the symbolism that's so important to me. You know, of a butterfly. So I thought it looked really nice and would look nice, and wanted to share that with you guys. And so, you know, people can see it. And so, but anyway, back to what I was saying about the diet and the exercise. There are so many things that we really have to avoid. And I know it's hard. I know, believe me, I know. And I know some of us can't get out and drive. And so how do we get these things we need? But there are things that we can do as far as what we can avoid. You know, we can try to avoid sugar. We can try to avoid caffeine. We can try to avoid gluten. We can try to avoid, you know, I learned a lot of this, most of it, from research and from what everybody else was telling me. Don't eat this, don't do this, don't do this. I even had some people say, even when you're in protracted withdrawal, it'd be best to not even have a drink of alcohol for a couple of years. So, and I just look at it as trying to stay educated, trying to be as wise as I can on how to best to survive this. Because there's so many days where we just don't believe that there is another, that it is fathomable that we can survive another day, one more day of it, and we're done. And certainly when we're alone and we're crying out to God and you know, how can I continue to survive this? How? Show me how. With me personally as a Christian, he has been showing me that, you know, different signs here and there, whether it be a particular song that plays at a particular time. And those kind of things that have been happening to me. I really wanted to sing for you guys that train song, you know, I need a sign that things are gonna look up. My TV said, what is it? Oh shoot! Now I've lost my train of thought. But anyway, anyway, Calling All Angels. You guys know the song, so I'm gonna get the words down to it sometime. I had the words all in my head, and then they just went blank. Imagine that. So, because I would love to just, you know, my voice is crap these days through this, but just to kind of sing some of that song, because I was listening to it in my car. I actually have that CD playing as one in my car, and the song came on, and I just thought, you know, I need to sing this for everybody, because the words, you know, it's not necessarily a Christian song necessarily. It's not, they're not known as a Christian group. I love them, but a but the song is just is so deep in the words that it says, you know, and we need a sign, you know, and we need to know that things are going to look up. And sometimes we are calling all angels, you know. So, and that's where I was last week, and I feel that angels were sent to me, but I feel like I wanted to share that song with you guys because that's what you guys have been to me. It's like you guys have been angels in my life, and I read these comments and I'm like, oh, what an angel of a person, what an angel. And there's so many names. Last night I was actually praying, and as many of your names that I could possibly remember, I actually was saying each one of your names going down, you know, the ones that have been with me from the beginning and the new ones, everybody's name that you know, that I could remember. And I need to start going down and actually putting everybody's name on a list so that I don't feel like I'm forgetting someone, because I said, you know, God, if there, whoever else that I'm forgetting, you know who it is. And then I also then end up pray for everybody that's on the Facebook websites that I'm trying to get back on, and you know, so and this just everybody in general. I do have started tweeting, you know, more. So yeah, but just for everybody that's in this this community that's so vastly wide and tragically widespread worldwide. So, but that's basically what I wanted to say. Just kind of give you guys an update. I wanted you to see a good, to know that there's hope. You guys give me hope. I had someone I talked to like 3 days ago when I was just, that reminded me like, yeah, you can get out, and I think you can do it, and I did, and this person was very, very helpful to me for a short time, for a time on the phone, and I'm very grateful for that, because I get very, very few phone calls or text messages. It's kind of sad when, well, music is really, well, and you know, Jesus is a given. So you know, as far as being my my hero, my best friend, but music is music, and then TV, you know, and Netflix is kind of my best friend, and that's kind of sad, but I'm still grateful to have it. Some people don't. Some people are going through this, and they might not be in a place where they have heat. They might not have the comfort of turning on Netflix and finding a movie, a funny comedy rom-com to watch that might make them feel a little better. So I feel very blessed in what those things that I do have, and that's huge, because not everybody does, and not everybody you know, can have times where you can get out, maybe no matter what you do. I just hope I can encourage you guys that to and understand that I do believe with all my heart and soul, you know, besides my faith and my relationship, you know, with Christ, that also the decisions that I made and focus on to, you know, to eliminate the things from my diet and other things that I know that are going to trigger me, and you know, to try to make sure when I can, I get the sun and I walk. I'm trying to be wiser and not be stubborn and say, oh, I'm gonna half run and half walk. I was doing that even before last week, and you know, I'm just, sometimes I don't heed to my own advice all the time. I'm trying to work on that. I'm very driven and hard-headed when it comes to, I mean, that's how I ran a marathon. You can't run a marathon unless you're like, you know, focused on, you know, I don't care that my socks are bloody and my toenails are turning black and falling off during training for 6 months. This is something I'm going to do. And I remember crossing that finish line. I was almost 40 years old, and I remember crossing that finish line thinking, if I can do this, I can do anything. Of course, I didn't foresee Benzo withdrawal syndrome, or I might not have said that, but it is how I felt. So it was worth everything that I had to put myself through to get to that end goal. So would it be more fun to sit in front of Netflix with, you know, with a bag of Chips Ahoy cookies? Absolutely, but it's a choice that I'm making that I think is a good choice, to avoid all that crap, to avoid you know, Google the herbs and supplements and stuff that you probably, you know, shouldn't take. You know, I avoid B12. I don't do magnesium. There's certain things that through my personal experience and then other research, I avoid. There's just a lot. There's a lot, and it's a lot that it's like we shouldn't have to. Our brains are already going through enough, and it's like, oh, now I gotta process all this, you know, and worry about, you know, what I eat, what I drink, what I don't drink, what I, you know, and so yeah, it's overwhelming. But to me, if it's like, if it contributes to whether I survive or whether I don't, then I have to do what I know I have to do. Something else huge to me that this actual same person I spoke to again, and I told them, I also have had to refocus my purpose in life. My purpose is pretty much in this process has been like, I need to survive because I have 2 children and a grandson. And that needs to be my purpose. Well, what happens is when those relationships starts falling apart or people start distancing themselves, and I feel like, but wait a minute, where are my kids? I know they love me, but where are they? I feel lost. I feel like I'm on a planet all by myself. I want my kids to acknowledge me. I want them to act and not just speak. And I want them to research. I want them to do more, have more empathy. I want them to, I mean, and I am going to be having to move in with my youngest son. I have to leave this apartment by April 23rd. It's not something I want to do, but I have no choice to do. And I'm grateful to him that he's not going to let his mom be on the street, because that's basically what would happen. I would have no place to go. And he loves me, and I know that. But in the same sense, that's kind of where it's ending right now. Nobody's been in my apartment for months. And so I have to realize there's got to be a bigger purpose here, because I was starting to think like, okay, if I don't have my kids, life isn't worth living anymore. And I had said that to my doctor in a very dark state last week. And he's like, I don't want to hear you. I don't want to hear that kind of talk. And yes, he's upset with him. Yes, he wants to talk with him. But, and you know, it's and I lashed out at, you know, I lashed out at one of them, and that's been ripping my heart out. Having to just kind of deal with that, but there's a bigger picture in this, because if I have a lesser relationship with my children, but I'm saving people's lives, or I'm helping to encourage people who feel like they don't want to live, or I save one person's life, or I've already had people tell me on Facebook months ago that they quit taking the medicine, or they avoided taking it because after, you know, information from me and watching my videos. So that alone can save someone from this nightmare down the road, or it can save someone from attempting suicide, as I have done myself before I knew what was making me sick, and I had akathisia so bad that I had no function of my body. So, not because I was crazy, but anyway, I have to refocus on God. What is your bigger picture? My life should not just be about being a mom and being a grandmother, and if those relationships aren't perfect, then I have no reason to live. That's the way I was feeling. So I've had to really do a lot of, which is hard, because you know, it's like you're trying to get your brain to focus and refocus and redirect on positivity, and okay, get that thought out of your mind, and okay, your kids haven't called, don't think about it. Okay, they haven't been here, don't think about it. Think about this bigger picture. Think about all the things that have been said to you on your page, on your channel, Shelley. Think about these new people that have come along and said, keep making videos, you're helping people. Think about that. That is huge. We are put here on this earth to not be self-centered, to not be self-absorbed. We are put here to show humanity, to show people, you know, and for me to show people God's love and his grace and his mercy that was shown to me, And I don't want to talk the talk. I want to walk the walk, and I don't always do that. And I sometimes fail, but I don't want to fail in who I am as a human being and who God created me to be, and the heart that I'm supposed to have, and the empathy that I'm supposed to have, and the compassion I'm supposed to have, and the bigger purpose that I feel that He wants for me. And you know, that's really helped me. It has really helped me. It's still very, very hard, and I promised myself I'm not going to cry on this video, but it is so hard. I adore my kids, and my youngest was my best friend, my rock for so long, and things have changed, but you know what? Things change. Time doesn't stand still. Things change. Relationships change. Your children go on to get married, and things are going to change. And some people haven't spoken to their children in years. So it is what it is. This is a misunderstood illness. We have to accept that too, unfortunately. But it's gradually changing. So anyway, with that, I'm already at 20 minutes. I wanted to share a song with you. I'm not going to sing, but I've been playing just original music a little bit for you guys. This is off an old cassette tape. I wrote these songs when I was in barely 21, I think about 21 years old. And I wrote this one song. I was going through a terrible breakup of a long-term relationship. And the song is called Just a Tear Away. Because I felt like I was so cried out, but yet I was so filled with all this emotion, and my heart was doing all these things, and and that's the lyrics are all about, my heart is this, my heart is this, but I'm always just a tear away, because it's like I want to flood all these tears, but I just can't anymore. I'm just always you know, it's just, I'm in a place that I didn't know how else to describe it, except that I was just at a place where I was just always just one tear away from losing it once again. And so I wrote this song. I have a lead sheet on it with the words and lyrics, so some of the lyrics might be a little hard to understand, I'm not sure, because it's off a cassette tape, but I just wanted to kind of sign off and play you guys another song, because music is a huge part of my life. It always has been. I grew up with musicians. My mom was a professional singer. My boys are both musicians. I was a professional singer in most of my life. Half of the time secular music, half the time in music ministry. These are secular songs, and this, I'm only going to play you one, this Just a Tear Away that I wrote. And I was very young, so vocally and writing and musically, so I was very young, keep that in mind. But you know, and it's a pretty deep song. It's not a spiritual song. It's not necessarily it's just something I want to share with you, that's all. So with that, I'm gonna just go ahead and play it. And on my new phone, I hope the sound comes out okay. Never quite sure what the volume, because it's actually on a boom box. It's just being recorded off of that. So, but anyway, be blessed, you guys. Stay strong, like you guys tell me. And like I said before, and like a friend gave me this bracelet that says, you know, you're braver than you believe, you're stronger than you seem, and you're smarter than you think. And so with that, I'm gonna play my song and let you guys look at my little relaxing little fancy fireplace here. No, the heat part is not on, and watch the butterfly and hopefully enjoy. Okay, be blessed, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay, sorry, it was only going to go about 15 minutes, but I think you guys know me by now. If you see one of my videos, it's like, yeah, there's Shelly again. It's probably going to be 25 or 30 minutes, so I'm sorry. But anyway, oh my God, so just look at the time. All right, be blessed.